Alright, so you want to know how to make smooth, laid-back beats for somebody like Payroll, Giovanni, or Larry June? This video's for you. Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Scott Beams. Today we're gonna be going over how to make melodies for somebody like Payroll, Giovanni, or Larry June. Alright, so I'm gonna give you my step-by-step process how I made this beat. So no more talking, man. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so first things first, you gotta either get a pad or a piano. I got this piano out of Keyscape, and I came up with this chord progression. Alright, so I'm in the scale of G sharp minor, and the two chords that I chose is the 1 chord and the 4 chord. Alright, so the 4 and the 1 refers to the scale in your scale degrees. So my first chord would be my G sharp minor chord, and my second chord would be my C sharp minor chord. Alright, so chords, they're definitely very important to, these type of beats, but don't overthink it. So I usually start off with 7th and 9th chords, and then I usually invert those notes just to get a little variety and, hear something different. Alright, so if you don't know how to make these kind of chords, you could definitely use Ripchord or Scalar. Those are some plugins that you could definitely use that make chords for you. I think Ripchord is free, but you got to pay for the banks. I think Scalar you actually have to pay for. So usually all you got to do is get 2 solid chord progressions down, bro, and then everything else is basically just, melodies and just like accents and, groove. And for the effects on that, all I have is an EQ just shaping it. I have an R comp compressing it. I have a Valhalla vintage reverb, and I also have an EQ just, shaping it again, taking out some lows. So almost always I go and I get a bell just to create a little counter melody, just to, fill in the gaps. I got this bell out of Xenology, and this is what I came up with. Alright, so I started off with something simple with the G sharp minor and then to go into the 5, and then everything else I just filled in. Just what I was hearing and what sounded good. The 1 and the 5 is like your go-to, like those you cannot miss with that. You dig what I'm saying? Alright, so for the effects on that, all I have is the EQ just shaping it. Alright, so next I wanted another counter melody, so I found this bell out of mini chord, and this is what it sounded like. And if you really look at it, it's literally the same progression that I had, with the first bell. All I did was offset it. So sometimes all you gotta do is just offset the notes, man, and it could just give you a whole nother idea. And for the effects on that, all I have is the EQ just taking out some of the lows and a Valhalla vintage reverb. So next I wanted to add some movement, so I found this pad out of mini chord. It fits in the background real nice. The same thing, just going from 2 notes, the 1 and the 5. Alright, so for my effects on that, all I have is the EQ just shaping it and a Valhalla vintage reverb. Alright, so next I wanted another little counter melody. I wanted like a flute to just be like a pluck. I opened up the Roland SRX World VST, and I found this flute, and this is what I laid down. Alright, so basically all I did was copy the pad progression, and I pasted it over, and then I shrunk it, so I made it a little bit quicker. So that's another way you could, just try to, create a vibe, create another idea, just jumpstart something. And for the effects on that, I have an EQ just taking out some of the lows, I have a delay, and I have a Valhalla vintage reverb. Alright, so you already know I had to throw the alpha bass on there. And I'm gonna break this down real quick. So this right here, all I'm going is using my bass notes from my chord progression. So I know I'm going from the 4 to the 1. So this is the 4, and then this is the 1. So everything else that you see, is all just fluff, you feel me? I was just using it to get around the chord progression. Alright, so typically I know where I want it to hit, so I start off with the dun, 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 you know what I'm saying? So I know I want that, so I put those in, and then, I create around that. If I wanted to be like, oh, I wanted to jump here, or I want a little movement here, that's when I add these little, up and downs in the scale. So next, I wanted a vintage lead, so I went to the West Coast Grammys VST, and I grabbed this lead, and this is what I came up with. And with this, something real simple. All I'm doing is going from the 1 to the 5, you know what I'm saying? And I threw a 4 in there at the end of the chord progression. And you know what I mean, I'm using these notes, you know what I mean, as the 1, 4, 5. I mean, just to, you know what I mean, let you guys know, like, you know what I mean, I'm not the biggest in music theory. I'm not gonna break down, you know what I mean, the whole scale to you and all that. But like, if you know like the 1, 4, 5 and that progression in and of itself, and you know how to utilize it, bro, you'll be Gucci. But all I did was, you know what I mean, just use that 1, 4, 5 method, and then, you know what I mean, it always works. Especially with like a lead like this, it like almost always works. And for the effects on that, all I have is an EQ, just taking out some of the lows. I have a delay, and I have a Valhalla vintage reverb. That's pretty much it for the melodies. Let's get straight into these drums now. Clap. Cowbell. Cowbell. Perk. Rim shot. Rim shot. Tambourine. Vibra slap. Hi-hat. Kick drum. Alright, that's pretty much it for the video, man. Hopefully you found something useful. If you did, man, hit that like button if I'm doing a good job. Make sure you comment below what you want to see next. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and one love, you heard?